Check, 1, 2, 1.
Mic's on.
Alrighty, it's 5 p.m. I'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. All right, we'll begin with a quick roll call. Mr. Barton?
Here.
Mr. Freshair?
Here.
Dr. Miller?
Here.
Mr. Chapman?
Here.
Dr. Manning?
Here.
Good to go. Like y'all stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Alrighty, we don't have any delegation. And we'll move into reports and start with the attendance update.
All right, you guys have this attached on your executive content. It's about guidance to the legislative update, policy 4110. These are changes that have already been put in the legislative code, and we're going to have to eventually address our own policy. The state board is going to pass these changes at their upcoming meeting, but I want to read over some of it just so the public knows. Educational leave is not an excused absence under the state law or West Virginia Board of Education policy. This section of state law defines what constitutes as an excused absence and has been effective since June 7th of 2024. West Virginia Board of Education policy 4110 follows the state law. And then we put a link in there so you guys could click on that. Absence reasons defined as excused under current state law: medical or dental appointments, personal illness, chronic medical conditions, death in the family, judicial obligation or court appearances, and military requirement. All other absence from instruction are unexcused. So this is a little bit of a change where we have in the past allowed students to go on various trips and things and code them educational leave. Those will count against our attendance rate now. Parent notes, as stated, are limited to 10 days for personal illness and injury. So if you get a parent note that says they've been at the beach for 4 or 5 days, it doesn't count. Absences for vacation or other voluntary family activities are not illness-related absences. Therefore, per state law, these sorts of absences would be unexcused. Parent notes, doctor, dentist verification must be submitted within 3 days of returning to school, or they count as an unexcused absence. We've attached a crosswalk there that has the coding. Our message is attend for the win, miss less than 10 days. And that will get us below our chronic absenteeism rate of missing 18 total days, which will help our attendance rate, which is what our accountability is set on. Truancy is any student that has 10 unexcused absences, and truancy can result in legal charges against the juvenile. And they have moved that. I know at our last year's SBA, they talked about moving that to magistrate court, and they have made that move. So now the attendance diversion specialist will work with the magistrate and file when they miss that 10 days. Some of the reasoning behind this is I think the state did the numbers. They ran the numbers on absences, and they had double the amount of educational leave statewide compared to the year before. So it's just a growing problem. The more that we allow people to take educational leave, the more people take educational leave, which affects the overall attendance rate. So we had those conversations and I'm sure they're going to be rampant this SBA too. If you remember, that was one of the main topics, and people were kind of passionate about it. A lot of that stuff made it in the legislative code. And so we will have to adjust our policy based on that. Currently, right now, we are not accepting to be in compliance with the state, to be in compliance with the West Virginia code, legislative code. We are not allowing educational leave to move forward. We're just denying that currently to be actually in compliance with that state code. We're going to put our policy out for comment and make some of these changes in our current attendance policy. And we just wanted to give you an update. I also included some of the reporting for our kind of first little bit there, our first 15 days. And it's by grade and starts with kindergarten. They have a 94% attendance rate. The first grade, 91%. Second grade, 93. Third grade, 94. Fourth grade, 92. Fifth grade, 96. Sixth grade, 43. Or excuse me, not 43. That's the daily average. 95. Seventh grade, 94. Eighth grade, 92. Ninth grade, 90. 10th grade, 92%. 11th grade, 94. And 12th grade, 92, with our lowest being, I believe, in the ninth grade at 90%. So that's we wanted to give you a brief update about those legislative changes. And our current practices allow, and we're going to have to make a change of that practice to come into compliance with the West Virginia code. Does anybody have any questions about that? All right, that's all I got on that one.
That'll move us out of reports and into the consent agenda, and we'll start with the minutes.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of the August 26, 2024 regular meeting.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the August 26th, 2024 regular meeting. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, Ginger, we're to bills for payment.
Okay, I think they're just pretty much the normal. We give you a bunch again this meeting. We're just trying to keep things rolling, keep the lights on, etc.
Make a motion to approve the bills for payment as presented.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the bills for payment as presented. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right. That'll move us into new business, and we'll start with approval of out-of-state professional leave, the West Virginia ASA National Conference. Dr. Manning.
This is a conference that I would like to attend. It's a superintendent's conference. There's 5,400 total participants across the nation. I went last year. I learned a lot. I brought a lot of stuff back. It has a bunch of really good safety stuff to it. It has 450 educational speakers. The exhibit hall is where people make connections and networks with businesses. some of the businesses that will be there that you can work with and set in what I call mini sessions that we already use, like Apogee. Very interested in College Board. Those are two of the main ones that I like to go see. There is a lot of different businesses, like I said, with school safety, and they have new products and things that they're coming out with on a yearly basis that they go and present, and you get to test those products. That's where most of the folks in the state find their products that they promote with our state organization that work their way into the schools, is at that conference. And it's a good conference to network and find those things that can have an impact. The reason why it's so early is early bird registration is much cheaper. It's $300 or $400 cheaper than if you wait till last minute. But the total comprehensive registration is $1,240. And I think that the plane ride would probably be cheaper than last year's going to, I'm guessing it'd be $500 or something, $700 or something like that. Last year it cost me $700 to fly out to San Diego. This year it's in New Orleans, and I think it's a beneficial conference for me and to develop our network and to set through those sessions where we can use our current products in real time and kind of tweak out. Our whole Project Connect piece, I feel like we've been able to work with Apogee and take what we've learned from that conference and then come back and say, hey, we want to use this piece and we want to use this piece and get social media going, and all of those different things have made a difference in communication and different things like that. So I would like to go ahead and get approval so I can get the early bird registration, which would save $300 or $400.
Make a motion to approve the out-of-state professional leave for the superintendent at the WVASA National Conference.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the out-of-state professional leave for the superintendent to attend the West Virginia WVASA National Conference. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right. Now we're to proclamation to celebrate Freedom Week.
This is one of those things that came out in West Virginia Code as well as something that we were required to do. And we have a proclamation written that would need to be read there in the motion to proclaim the date is September 9th through the 13th as Celebrate Freedom Week.
Make a motion that in Gilmer County Schools of West Virginia, whereas our Board of Education will act in compliance with West Virginia State Code 18-2-9, now therefore our Board of Education will declare the week of September 9 through the 13th, 2024, Celebrate Freedom Week. We encourage our social studies teachers to develop lesson plans to educate our students about the sacrifices made for freedom in the founding of this country and the values on which this country was founded. In witness whereof, we sign this proclamation as President of the Gilmer County Board of Education and Superintendent of the Gilmer County Board of Education. Now therefore, we, the Board of Education of Gilmer County, do hereby proclaim the week of September 9 through the 13th, 2024 as Celebrate Freedom Week.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve that main motion. Is there any further discussion or amendments to it?
Myra, did you get all that?
All right, hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All
I
right.
have no idea why we're declaring September Freedom Week, but whatever.
2001. 9/11.
Let's see.
9/11.
All right, we're going to old business approval, a bid for Gilmer County High School freezer cooler project, and I see Mr. Frazier and Dr. Minnie, so I don't know who's presenting.
Mr. Frazier's here if you got any questions. He put a recommendation there for you guys to read. We had a bid opening on September 5th, and we were ecstatic. We got some great bids this time. And I think our total award was $722,000. And
dang, we cut that.
we had some really good bids this time.
Almost cut that down.
And the the bid that came in the lowest, which was Veritas Contracting, came in at $326,667. And Mr. Fraser's made the recommendation to accept that bid, and I also make that recommendation. And hopefully we can get that project started. Of course, we're on the hook for 10% of that. So 10% of 722 is a lot different than 326. So that was a good day for us. There was a good savings there. We're talking about some things that we might be able to add on because we have the ability, we might be able to do that. We're working with the SBA for that. But that was a really good sign for construction projects.
Yeah.
We had a lot of bids. I think our original pre-bid meeting, we had 9, 7.
And then 5 bids.
And they were pretty hungry. So we were happy to have those companies working towards getting that bid. And our initial thought was that, that came in a lot lower than expected. So that was a good report.
Make a motion to accept Veritas Contracting for the Gilmer County High School kitchen walk-in replacement in the amount of $326,667.
Second.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded to accept Veritas Contracting for the Gilmer County High School kitchen walk-in replacement in the amount of $326,667. Is there any further discussion or amendment to that main motion?
Have we used this company before? Or familiar with them?
Veritas is pretty popular in the industry, I've
I
heard.
mean, it sounds familiar.
We have not, now our architects have worked jobs with them. We have drivers familiar with them, they work with them, and we talked with them after. And they, yeah,
They're currently on the Career Center's welding
Yes.
contract.
Maybe that's where I heard of.
we're hearing good things, but we have never worked.
And that does have the gas generator, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
we didn't make that. switch.
Yeah.
Is that something
We
they
asked
have
that
in stock,
question,
Joe,
too.
or do they have to order
The
it?
generator's
Is-
gonna be the lead item.
Yeah.
Every company already asked for an extension on the generator. Now, what I'm hoping the extension is just for the generator, and we still want the work finished by December, because we can operate without the generator and have the generator later. But,
Yeah.
But the generator's gonna be the lead item, and it would have been the latest item either way.
Okay.
If we'd went with the diesel or with natural gas.
Yeah.
It did include, I know Mr. Martin, you asked last board meeting, and I did put it in the notes, but it did include, hooking the generator up to the gym lights.
Good deal.
Which we were amazed at the prices that came, the bids that came in for that.
We should bid the building out at the elementary
exactly-
school real fast.
Yeah.
We're talking about trying to find a way to bid some projects right now while construction costs are coming down.
Yeah.
That was a very good sign because that's really the first time since I've been superintendent here, we've actually had a good set of bids.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, we'll move to personnel. Dr. Benny.
All right, give me a quick second here. I'm trying to. Okay, extracurricular. This, just to give you an update, we didn't get anybody that took the auxiliary trainer. This is to hire a substitute athletic trainer, and they would be paid, of course, if they worked a game, they would be paid a certain amount of money for substituting. I think it's important for us to have a substitute because we're having a very hard time if somebody would be ill or absent, being able to find somebody. I recommend Susie Kirkpatrick as substitute athletic trainer.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the extracurricular portion of the personnel agenda. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. On to the next one.
These are a couple of those math and special education 3-step increments. These were something that we felt like we needed to do district-wide because both Taylor teaches a majority of special ed and could have a majority of special ed if he was out itinerant or if he was here. And Kelly Barr is a 7th grade math teacher, which handles all of the 7th grade. So I make the recommendation to approve both of those 3-step increments.
What does that actually mean?
They get an increment from the state if they are a special ed or math teacher.
Okay.
And these were two that didn't equal out quite to the 60%, but do handle special ed on a daily basis and are assigned, and we actually hired them as a special ed teacher for a purpose, because most of the people that are in ALC, a lot of kids are special ed kids. So even though they might not have that currently, we have to work to identify that and pay them a part of that increment.
And it means that they get paid for 3 more years of experience than what the other ones would, is the statute.
There we go. Hey, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So moved.
Second.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the math and special education 3-step increments. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries.
Who seconded that motion?
Dustin.
Okay, sorry.
All right, we are on, there's nothing in continuous improvement. Unless, I don't see anything, Ms. West don't have any. All right, so we're going to superintendent's information.
Okay, I've just got some updates here. Wanted to remind everybody that September 13th and 14th is the beginning of our WVSBA. I've got a printout here if anybody's interested in it, and I'm sure you guys have it too, where you can look to see about all the presenters and who all's going to be there. They got a good lineup. They got Roger Hanshaw, Michelle Blatt, Jeff Kelly, Kim Miller from Ohio County Schools, Drew McClanahan. He is from Putnam County, the highest test performers in the state this year. Both Kim and Drew are really good. They'll have some good insight there about how to do school improvement. But that is September 13th and 14th, and that's at Town Center Marriott Hotel. I'm sure you guys are planning to be there. I just wanted to give everybody an update on Project Connect. We're streaming, and if you can think of anything that you guys want to get out there, believe it or not, during the game, we had 58 people attending that stream on the very first one with pretty much zero output. So my guess is this weekend, we're going to see a lot of people watching that stream. So it's a good way to get our information out from the board out to the mass public, because almost everybody is going to go back and watch a piece of that game. I can almost bet. So if you think of anything, we're looking for sponsors. We need to get some advertisements, because JT and I can talk, but it's really hard to talk that much. But I think that's going to be a really good service, and it's going to be able to highlight our athletes. Once we get this down for football, we look to do the same with. Now, I cannot call a volleyball game. I wouldn't know a single rule, but we look to get some people involved, and then we will have students there doing sideline interviews, running cameras, and learning the process this weekend. So I just wanted to give you an update about that. Just wanted to float this idea. I have been selected to go to an iReady symposium October 3rd and 4th. I haven't even looked at my calendar yet, but I wanted to tell you it's pretty much they're going to pay for me to go to Maryland and be a part of a superintendent cohort with everybody on the East Coast to be a part of the iReady cohort. I just wanted to give you a heads up that could be a possibility. I just got that email today. I thought I'd give you a heads up because I would probably need out-of-state approval, but I don't know if I can actually go yet or not. I haven't looked. School safety conference is October 16th and 17th. I talked with Mr. Frazier today. We plan on sending him to the school safety conference. We've made a lot of, I think, real positive changes, but after this past week, we got some other changes that we're looking at, some application processes and different things that we feel like could really help our school. And you notice that if you read anything about what happened in Georgia, the panic button was a real saver there. And our panic buttons are, we've tested those. Our state police thinks our panic buttons work, and they're going to retest. We're planning a code red drill this week. Naisha told me that she'd like to have a code red drill this week just to test and make sure. But we'd like to send Mr. Frazier to that training so we can get the updated information the state's putting out about safety. Again, September 27th, a special meeting at 4 p.m. This would be for Ginger. This is the annual report, correct, Ginger? And that will be a brief meeting. I will be coming back from a conference and plan to stop and attend that meeting. But if you can't be there, if you can call in, that would be September 27th. And finally, focus visits. Our Gilmer County Accountability Team for Excellence will be conducting our focus visits on September 23rd and 24th. I sent a memorandum out today, so they had plenty of notice that they have those meetings coming up. And we are set to have that process take place where we walk through our schools and figure out our strengths and weaknesses and add those to our continuous improvement framework. And we will be reporting out shortly after that, correct? To you guys to tell the themes of improvement that we found, and strengths and so forth. That's all I've got.
All right, thanks, sir. We'll go to board member comments, starting Mr. Bart.
Well, I got a couple here. Mr. Kinder's time is getting shorter by the day. I hope we have some applicants for the job, but if possible, I'd like to see him have a week with whoever we hire to go over what he's done and things processes he's put in line. I think it would be really good for the kids. And then I'm really concerned about the test scores and just what correlation does the benchmark test we're given have in relationship to the state assessment in the spring, which is the one that really counts? What a correlation do we have with whatever company we're purchasing their software to use? Nobody's ever said that. And
They're with iReady, are you talking with elementary or high school?
both.
Well, the SAT's closely coordinated, 9 through 12, but the iReady is also very closely aligned. And we saw that, right, Ms. West, with our test scores. We
I
kind
think it
of,
was even more so than, what was it we did?
yeah, STAR, it was much more closely aligned than our past benchmark. That's why we feel confident this year with this first benchmark. We've just started. We're not quite finished with the first benchmark yet, but we'll be reporting on those both in reading and math. They're just a few points different in how they correlate, correct? And so we'll be able to pretty much tell initial data when we get those first benchmarks back from iReady.
Okay. And this, one meeting a month, if possible. I'd like to see principals come and present their short Weavis report on what was happening discipline-wise. And also, not only does Ms. West give the one for the benchmarks, but from them as to how they're coming academically and whether they think they're going to be, when it comes to taking the test that counts, determines what happens to us, because I'm really concerned if we hit rock bottom again, we will not be in good shape, I don't think.
Any further comments? Mr. Freshour,
Nothing.
Dr. Miller.
I'd just like to thank everybody that works so hard in the community and the WVU Extension Office, the ag classes, the parents, the kids. Everybody came together to make the farm show another big success this year. I didn't get to go because it was my mama's birthday, but I've heard great things about it. And I just want to thank everybody for going above and beyond our kids, all the people that came and bought animals, that supported the kids' learning. The way this world's going, farming and agriculture is probably not too bad of a thing to learn right now. So, thank you.
Mr. Champ.
No, nobody hit me up on a half a beef either, so, but I did hear it was a success, so, no further comments.
And the other thing I have, we have a Leading Creek meeting on Wednesday at 9. So we'll go over and I'll have an update for that committee whenever we come back for the next meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
All righty. Is there a second? Second. It's been properly moved and seconded to adjourn the meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Meeting adjourned.